Hey everyone, today we're going to be taking a look at the Shieldfit 45-liter tactical gym backpack, which is geared towards athletes and people that have an active lifestyle. But with the size and functionality that it has, it also seemed like a pretty interesting travel backpack. So I've had a chance to test this over the past couple of weeks, and in this video I'm going to be talking about what it's been like to use it. I'll show you how I've loaded it out, walk through all the features, and I'll also talk about how it compares to some of the other similar bags that are currently on the market. Before jumping into the video, if you're new here, welcome. My name is Danny, and on this channel we love reviewing popular travel and everyday carry gear. If you like these types of videos and you'd be interested in seeing more, please consider subscribing as it helps the channel out a lot. So with all that being said, let's go ahead and jump in. Starting off with the overall aesthetic, as the name implies, the bag has a pretty tactical appearance. You have webbing along the front, the sides, compression straps, so it's not a minimal or sleek bag by any means. It definitely prioritizes functionality. And I know the tactical look isn't for everybody. For me, this is a look that I've always personally liked, and I see this a lot around the world when I'm traveling. It feels like a fairly standard style. And, it's not something that I think will work quite as well in a more professional setting, but, this functional look I think is still gonna be great for traveling, exploring a city, going into the outdoors, or taking this into the gym. As far as the materials, the bag feels pretty solidly built. This exterior fabric is a 900D polyester that feels like it's gonna hold up pretty well to rougher usage. This doesn't feel quite as premium as I would expect for the price point of the bag. I maybe would have liked to have seen some Cordura nylon. Regardless, this has held up well in my testing. I've had other bags with this fabric and it's still sturdy. It's not gonna offer maybe as much weather resistance as some of the other kind of more modern premium fabrics, but it'll give you a little bit of protection in lighter rain. It doesn't feel as heavy. And then you have some nice YKK zippers all throughout. Continuing along the outside of the bag, I was happy to see that you have two external water bottle pockets, which isn't always the case with these tactical style bags. So I thought that was pretty unique, a nice addition. Usually they just have the MOLLE webbing along the side and you kind of have to add your own third-party pouch. And so you have, these really nice spacious pockets here. They seem to be sized to hold a little bit of a larger water bottle. My 26-ounce Yeti Rambler would be a good fit. Here I have a 20-ounce water bottle, but I believe that these are designed to also be able to handle the types of bottles that would be used to, mix protein shakes or pre-workout, things like that. So you have, this nice cushioned mesh. You have the ability to secure the bottle with this drawstring. They do stick out a little bit, even when they're empty, so it's not the sleekest appearance here. But still great to have these, and again, one on each side. You could also use these for tripods, umbrellas, so always nice to have them in my opinion. And then along the side you have compression straps to allow you to tighten the bag when it's not as full so that it doesn't look as bulky. You can also use these to secure tripods, jackets, additional gym equipment that you might be carrying with you. I like that they have buckles to make it very easy to get items in and out. One thing that I did notice about this bottom strap, which is a little unfortunate, is that it does come over the water bottle pocket. So that can be a little bit awkward when you have the water bottle. It's tough to tighten this or it can get in the way, but not a huge deal. And then on the bottom of the bag, you have additional compression straps. These don't have buckles, but still, again, just great for holding additional items, yoga mat, jacket. Then you can tighten this down. Will also help when the bag isn't as full. You have some additional rows of webbing here. And along the front, you have kind of this laser cut PALS webbing. So I've always thought that this looks maybe a little sleeker or less tactical than traditional MOLLE, but it still offers, the functionality of being able to attach additional accessories with a carabiner or anything with a clip. So lights, I clipped on a hero clip here, so plenty of attachment points there. And on the side, depending on how you want to use the bag, you also have this hook and loop area along the front to allow you to customize the bag with whatever patches you want to. And at the top, you also have a pretty nice carrying handle. Nothing crazy here, well stitched. It feels durable. It doesn't have a ton of padding, but it's still gonna get the job done for allowing you to pick the bag up off the ground when you need to. And you also have a couple of additional attachment points here along the handle. The last thing I'll mention while we're talking about the exterior is whether the bag stands up well on its own. Given how wide this manages to get, it can, do a pretty good job, especially when it's packed out. It'll feel fairly stable depending on how you start to load the bag out. Because it doesn't have a super rigid structure, if it's a little emptier, I could see it starting to tip. So you'll just have to keep that in mind, as you're loading it out and wherever you end up placing it. Moving into the capacity, the bag comes in at about 45 liters, so it's a pretty big bag. This is definitely a size that I would normally use more for one bag travel than for any sort of EDC. Now the bag is fairly flexible, in its structure, and with the compression straps, you can really tighten it and it might feel usable as a daily bag, or if you're going to the gym for, days where you have to carry extra equipment, shoes, it's going to give you the space to do so, and you can tighten everything down, especially if you're a little bit taller. It might be able to work okay. I know the company also sells a 25-liter size, which might be a little bit better for EDC, but for travel purposes, I think this is a great size. It's still going to be able to work as a carry-on bag to fit into the overhead storage compartments of many domestic and international airlines, and it does start to get fairly bulky. If you really pack out all of the compartments, it will stick out quite a bit, so that's something that you'll have to keep in mind, especially if you're jumping into any public transit, navigating any crowded areas. But the trade-off with that is that you do get a lot of volume and space out of each of the individual compartments. Taking a look at the harness system, so far the bag has been pretty comfortable to wear. I like the padding that's been included on the straps here. It's really soft, comfortable. On the inside, you have a nice breathable mesh to help prevent moisture from building up. The straps also have a good width to help prevent the bag from digging into your shoulders when it's a little bit more packed out. At the top, you do have some load lifters to allow you to really pull that weight close to your back and adjust how everything sits on your shoulders. You have a couple of loops on the straps to allow you to hang additional accessories. Some D-rings might be useful for hanging your sunglasses or attaching other things with carabiners. And then you have an adjustable and removable sternum strap to help distribute the weight. And you also have at the bottom a couple of attachment points that pair with a waist strap that's included with the bag. It's one of those thinner straps that's meant to stabilize the pack. It doesn't necessarily take the weight off of your shoulders. So I generally remove those straps whenever I can. So it's nice that you can fully remove it here, but it is also good that it's included if that's the type of thing that you like to use. And then taking a look at the back panel, this has also been pretty comfortable. Same style of padding that we saw on the straps, well distributed here down throughout the back. Nice amount of breathability with the mesh that's included here. And there is a little bit of air channel here in a couple of sections. It's not as much elevation as I would typically like to see. So if you're wearing this for a longer period of time and it's really packed out, you'll probably start to feel some sweat building up quickly, but regardless, it's felt pretty comfortable. The only other thing I noticed is that it doesn't have a rigid frame sheet or anything like that incorporated into the bag, so the weight isn't quite as well distributed as I would like to see with a bag of this size. But regardless, with the straps and the back panel, as I've been wearing it so far, I really haven't noticed too many issues. Jumping into the organizational options, the bag has a nice variety of pockets all throughout. Starting off at the front, you have a quick access pocket here at the top. Nice amount of volume, so it's going to be able to handle some bulkier accessories, and it opens up pretty wide, so you have plenty of visibility into the compartment. At the moment, I just have a cable to charge my tablet and my phone. I have my AirPods, and then I also have my sunglasses with their bulkier hard shell case. Everything fit in there comfortably. There still would have been some leftover space. Pretty simple layout here, no additional internal organization, but I really like the simplicity of these style of pockets. They also work well for any sort of pouches that you might want to include. So nice amount of space there. And then below that, another zippered pocket. This one has a zipper that opens up wide enough to allow you to see down into the bottom. It's a fairly tall compartment here, and you do have the compression straps which don't impede the zipper, which is good to see. And this is one of those pockets that when you tighten the bag down, you can't take full advantage of the volume, but it actually can hold pretty bulky items. And so, I just have a couple of things that I threw in here, like my GoPro. I also have my alpaca admin pouch with some EDC items. I have the Ghost Will pouch. And on the back, you have a little bit of organization built in. So you have a larger slip pocket on the back of this area where I have a nail clipper set. Then on the front, you have a couple of slots for a pen or a stylus. And then you have just a slightly larger slip pocket where you could store something like a mouse or a portable battery. Besides the quicker access pockets on the front, the bag also has what I would say are two kind of primary storage areas. Reminds me a little bit of the layout on something like the GoRuck GR2. So this is what makes it so useful as both a gym bag and a travel bag. It'll really give you a lot of space and organization for any of the things that you might be carrying for those use cases, whether it's clothing or additional gym equipment and apparel. And so to be able to fully access this area, you'll have to release the compression straps. It's not full clamshell for this first compartment that I'm going to show you, but it still opens up pretty wide to allow you to organize everything easily. And so this has a good amount of volume on its own. And in this compartment at the moment, I have my Beat Studio wireless headphones, and I also placed my running shoes just to kind of showcase that use case. You know, I have my Adidas Ultra Boost size 11.5. So these are, you know, fairly bulky shoes, and they were able to fit in there pretty comfortably. So if you're going to the gym on a particular day and you need to store those types of shoes, you should be able to. And on the back of this compartment, you have a little bit of organization, just a couple of simple slip pockets, but because of the items that I was storing, I didn't end up using this, but great to have it if you have a couple of things that you don't want sliding to the bottom of the bag. So really nice amount of space here. If you're traveling, you could also hold an extra packing cube, jacket, toiletries, you know, or you can separate, you know, the one compartment for your travel stuff, one for your EDC items. So I'm always a big fan of this style of layout, as it just gives you some extra flexibility. And then with the compression straps, if you're not using this, you know, it'll really squeeze it down and the bag doesn't end up looking quite as bulky. And then the last area that we're going to be taking a look at is the compartment on the back, which is a full clamshell style opening. So the zippers go all the way down to allow you to see the full packing space. It's got a pretty simple layout here and perfect for, you know, my typical packing cube sort of setup. I have my Peak Design compressible packing cube here, as well as my Air Dot kit, and both of those fit in there very comfortably. Simple layout here on the back, no compression straps or anything like that. You do have an additional sleeve here that is meant to hold a laptop. It is pretty spacious. Currently what I have here is my bulkier 15.6 or 16-inch laptop from Acer. And so if you have a larger device, that sleeve will give you a lot of flexibility. It isn't a very padded sleeve, however. So even though it's a laptop area, you know, I would definitely recommend using a case to help keep your device protected. At the bottom, the sleeve is maybe slightly pulled up, but you know, because of the fact that the bag doesn't really have a frame sheet, if it's not full, then your laptop could be making contact with the ground. So that's something that you'll have to keep in mind. But with the amount of space that's offered here, you will be able to use a case with your laptop comfortably. So, you know, lots of flexibility there. And then on the other side, you have some organization on as far as this slip pocket here, an elastic mesh compartment. So very easy to just toss something in there. And then you have a zippered mesh compartment here as well, which again, I didn't really end up using because I typically save most of the space for the bulkier items on this side, but you know, it seems like a good spot to maybe store some tech items, keep it near my laptop, or you know, toiletries, medicines, things like that. So, you know, it doesn't go overboard as far as the organization, but you know, still really thoughtful, useful, and you know, in general, really functional layout all throughout the bag. Definitely a style that I'm a fan of, just as far as the tactical look and the space that's provided in each of the compartments. Very, very useful, you know, for travel, for gym use. This is going to be a little bit big for EDC, I think, for a lot of people, and I would have liked to have seen maybe just a little bit more support in the laptop area with a frame sheet or maybe some more padding on the sleeve. But if you're not as concerned with the laptop and you're just looking for a super functional bag that will allow you to hold a ton of stuff, that's going to be, you know, pretty comfortable to wear, and that will work for a lot of different use cases, and this is going to be a solid option to take a look at. And so to wrap up, it's been a pretty good experience testing out the Shieldfit 45-liter tactical gym backpack over the past couple of weeks. You can currently purchase this on the company site for around $150, which to me feels maybe a little bit expensive given some of the material choices and the laptop compartment implementation. For example, I feel like it probably would have been really good at the $100 price point, or maybe a little bit lower. Regardless, you are getting a bag that's got a lot of space, really nice sort of pocket layout and functionality, but there's going to be some other great bags in this price range that may be worth considering. And so as I was testing this out, the first bag this made me think of is the 511 Rush 12. That's just a really great, very popular everyday carry backpack like this one. It has a pretty tactical vibe, very nice pocketing all throughout. That one has a well-padded laptop sleeve, so it's going to offer a little bit more protection, comfortable harness system. It doesn't have as much organization as this one here. I know they also have the 511 Rush 24, which might be closer in size, but the Rush 12 is the one that I've used most regularly, and it's just a really great bag, very solid build quality. It comes in at a pretty good price point as well. So if you're looking for something tactical like this one that's going to give you a little bit more protection for your device, and it's also going to be a little bit smaller, then that's a great option to take a look at. The next bag this made me think of is the Mystery Ranch Catalyst 26 backpack, which has been one of my favorite all-purpose bags of the past year. very solidly built. I really love the harness system that Mystery Ranch uses. It has a dedicated suspended laptop compartment. The 26-liter size is just a really great all-purpose capacity. EDC, minimal travel. It has the tri-zip opening that allows you to access the full volume of the bag or just use it as a top loader. Pretty simple organizational layout. It also has the dual external water bottle pockets. It comes in at a pretty reasonable price point as well. So if you like Mystery Ranch's style and you're looking for a comfortable bag with good laptop protection, that's going to be a really great option to keep in mind. And then the last option that I'll mention here is the Mammoth Scion Transporter 25 liter, which is one of the newer bags that I've tried out this year, but I was very impressed when I used it. That one is geared towards, people that are in the rock climbing community. It has a dedicated compartment for rock climbing shoes, a wide opening in the main area to easily pack everything out. Lots of space with the 25 liters of capacity. Not as big as this one, but still something that's kind of geared towards a more active lifestyle as well. A nice organizational layout on that one. Dedicated, suspended, well-padded laptop compartment. Weather-resistant materials, pretty comfortable harness system, luggage pass through it. It was really just well-rounded bag that I enjoyed using a lot. So if you're looking for something that's going to be able to handle some of your more active pursuits and it's going to give you a good build quality and a nice feature set, that's going to be a really great option to take a look at. With that being said, the Shieldfit 45 liter tactical gym backpack holds up pretty well against all those options. And if you're looking for a spacious gym/travel bag that's going to have a more tactical aesthetic with plenty of organization, this is still going to be an interesting option to take a look at. And I'm definitely curious to hear what you all think of Shieldfit's tactical gym backpack and how it compares to some of the other popular travel and gym bags that are currently on the market. And if there's any similar options that you think that I should check out, as always, please let me know in the comments. And I want to thank the company for sending the bag for me to test out, and to you guys for watching and supporting the channel. If you enjoyed this video, please give us a like, and if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any upcoming videos, and we'll see you in the next one.